To all those people watching, I would like to remind everyone that this video is not made strictly for kids. It is for older fans and adults too. Enjoy the fucking video! This video is brought to you by my loyal patrons. Register now at any tier to watch new videos 1 month in advance before they're made public. Link is in the description. During the summer, a party of scouts set up tents in a field beside the line. They bustled about arranging things but were never too busy to wave to the engines as they passed. Duncan was puzzled by this, and he explained it to Skarloey at the sheds. "Hadn't you heard of the Fat Controller? They come for their annual camp," he explained. "It's a sort of holiday for them. Their leader has been to see the Fat Controller, and he says that the boys can work on the railway for us." "Sounds like a funny sort of holiday to me," said Duncan doubtfully. "Lots of people do it," continued Skarloey. "Plenty of railways have most of their work done like that. The scouts are going to help us. You know that place near the top station where the ditches were bad and we had to be careful when it's wet? Well, the scouts are going to put that right for us." The other engines were pleased because they didn't like having to slow down there in the wet or frosty weather, but Duncan was doubtful. "Pah! That problem has been around since who knows when. I doubt they will have the time to fix it, and I doubt they will do a proper job on our railway," and he huffed crossly away to collect his passengers. It had been raining for the past few days, and the ground was still soggy and wet, with the ditches overflowing on the ground that carried over to the railway. Even Duncan hated crossing over it as he had to slow down. "I'm fed up with those ditches," he said crossly. "It delays my trains and the passengers are always complaining about it. What do they want me to do? I'm just an engine." "I know it's annoying," replied his driver sympathetically, "but we must adhere to the restriction that the Fat Controller allowed us to." Duncan groaned. Later that day he was making his way to the quarry with some empty trucks. It was still raining, and the water from the bad ditches had gotten worse as it covered the entire track, washing the ballast away. As they neared the bad piece of track, his driver then said, "We better go slow," but Duncan replied, "No, I'm not letting some signpost telling me how fast I could go. I'm sick of slowing down here. How bad can it be if some water covers the track?" But while Duncan was arguing with his driver, the fireman saw the flooded track and called out to the driver. Duncan and his driver then saw it themselves, and the driver applied the brakes, but it was too late. "Sleepers and ballast," he huffed. "I'm off." Luckily Duncan's driver and fireman had jumped clear before the crash, but they were on the loneliest part of the line, and the top station was miles away. Just then they heard some singing. Duncan's driver smiled, and he and the fireman went straight towards the sound. "Where are you going?" cried Duncan. "To get some help," replied the driver. He came back with a group of scouts and their leader. "Why did you get help from them, driver?" After that, he was quiet and went back to the sheds. The rain had passed, the sun was shining bright, and the line leading up to the top station was fixed. But it became hotter and hotter, too hot even for holidaymakers to lie on the beach. The scouts were hot too as they were helping out on the line. Thankfully, they rested when one of the engines passed by and waved to them cheerfully. But their waves became wearier as the weeks wore on. On the final day of camp, Duncan was puffing up the line with his passengers, even though he was hot. "I'm so tired, I'm thirsty, and I want a rest," he grouched. "Don't worry, Duncan, we could do all that at the top station." Then he saw the scout leader waving his arms. "Great," grumbled Duncan. The scout leader came towards Duncan's cab and asked him if he could collect some cold drinks. "Of course, sir," replied Duncan, and he puffed away. They pulled into the top station and asked the refreshment lady, who gave them the cold drinks. "I haven't got much myself," she said, "but the scouts are welcome to what there is." Then Duncan came towards the boys. They cheered when they saw him and the cold drinks were given out. "Thank you, Duncan," they said. "No," replied Duncan. "This is a thank you for helping me."